Good evening once again. Today I'm going to start the fourth session of data science. Last time we have seen that how data is involved during AI project cycle, all the five phases of AI project cycle. Now today what we are going to discuss, we are just going to discuss about what are the basic sources of data. As you can see here, they are basically categorized into two forms. One is the offline data collection and second is the online data collection. So data is collected in either of these two categories, right? So if we talk about the offline data collection, suppose the examples are given here: sensors, surveys, interview, and observation, right? Sensors means, suppose in the mall you have seen that the sensors are being placed at the time of entry or exit, so it senses and it gets the door gets open. So this is a kind of data which is being captured directly into the system by just sensing the presence of a person. There are many sensors available in the market, so this is also one of the way through which we can collect the data, through images, through the presence, through the object detection. Any of the way we can collect the data. Second is the surveys. Survey means, suppose when people goes to like rural area to understood what is the like population all about, or you can say to check whether the population, the person, how much what is the birth rate of that particular village or something. Then in that case surveys happen. It's not in the case of only population, there are many other things in which the surveys are taken place, by going by going to door of the person's house and to check whether the things are required or not in person. So these are called surveys. Surveys are the area of the location where you go and collect the data. So third is the interview. Through interview, like the one is the interviewer and the second is the interview view. You can go like you can talk together, through which you can get the data. Suppose any incidents happen to a particular place, so then what happen, then two people are involved in which we can like get the data for that particular incidents happen. Now observations, these are sometimes called as self observation or the visit observation. So observation is something that you predict from the current scenario. Now if we talk about online data collection, we all know there are various online sites on which we can like go and check about the data. Like if we talk about the educational sites, there are many educational sites. If we talk about the government sites, there are many online government portal that I have already discussed in the class. That is your government.gov.in. That is also one of the like online website which where you will get the data set free of cost. I'll show you today how you will get a data set free of cost, right? Means it is open source and it is reliable also. Second is a reliable website, example given as a Kaggle. कैगल हो गया आपका, government.gov.india हो गया, Indian government हो गया. All these sites are your reliable websites because government update the data on that particular site on a like daily basis, and these data are authentic. You can get that data, you can apply your algorithms, and you can create one software, or you can create one AI enabled model. Now next is your World Organization open source statistical website. Yes, WHO, like you will health organization and different world organization websites are there. On that also you will get the authentic source of the data, right? So these are the various sources through which you collect the data for your project, right? Next is going to be your, what are the types of data involved. So basically data that you will find through online and offline web medium, right? These data can be of any of these type, any of these, like that data file, the data set can be of CSV format, can be of spreadsheet format, can be of SQL format. CSV is the most common nowadays. Why? Because it is very easy to interpret, right? So CSV stands for comma separated values. It is a simple file format used to store tabular data. One thing is to be remember, either we are using these three or any other type of data, right? We required our data to be in the form of table, rows and column. We are not supposed to take the data in the form of text, like or in the form of any in the form of paragraph. No, we have to take it in the form of tabular structure. But CSV is something that give you a look and feel about there is no border of the data, but data is being like divided in the form of column. Right? I'll show you one CSV file today. Now this is all. A spreadsheet, you all know MS Excel program. MS Excel is one of the example of your spreadsheet software in which you know the data is already being collected in the form of rows and column, right? SQL is a standard structured query language. This is basically used for RDB. This is one of the example of your RDBMS, relational database management system tool, right? And this is basically used for specific kind of programming where the data is being tackled at the backend. Backend means somewhere the data analysis has to be done. Then the people use this SQL, structured query language, one of the most powerful tool for data management, right? Next. Now let's move forward further to the next slide. The next slide says, now if we talk about like Python programming, right? So Python programming need to access data in the form of packages that we have discussed. So if we talk about open source or something data, okay, that we get it online, web scraping ke through we will get the data. But if we want to access the same data in the programming language, then we require what can say packages, these libraries to be imported in our program. Then only inside the Python program we can able to access the data and perform a statistical computation or statistical functional on that particular data that we have required, that we have gathered, right? So NumPy is called as numerical Python. Num means numerical, py means Python. It is a fundamental package for mathematics and logical operation on arrays in Python. I have told you that if we talk about NumPy, always remember we are dealing with arrays. What is array? I will tell you. If we talk about, you can say pandas, it means we are doing work on data sets, data frames. So data frame is one of the tool, or you can say one of the like element of that particular pandas on which we are going to put our data in a particular manner. Take, so there are basically different you can say different kind of element required for different kind of package, basic important elements you can say. So if we talk about NumPy, it means we are talking about arrays. Now what is an array or what is a list? So list is what? List is the basic you can say, it is incorporated in the basic Python syntax, right? And list is what? List is a collection of your heterogeneous type of data. Heterogeneous means a list can be collection of your numbers, a list can be collection of your string, or it can be collection of your both. So this is also the thing. So an array is nothing but a set of multiple values which are of same data type. Now this is very important. Means the data that is required for the array, we cannot have it in the heterogeneous form. It is always in homogeneous form. Means if we take an array of number, there should be no string should be placed inside a number array, right? And arrays can be of many types. It can be of two-dimensional, it can be three-dimensional, it can be fourth-dimensional. So dimension, and here ND array means n-dimensional array. So we can also know NumPy arrays in the form of ND arrays, that is n dimensional array. N can be 2, 3, 4 and so on, but not more, right? So these are called n dimensional array in Python. Now we talk about NumPy and this. Let's get a quick difference between a NumPy and a list, because list is a part of a basic syntax programming and we have done the programs on it. Like we have appended a list, we have inserted the certain item on the list, we have deleted a list, we have popped an item from the list, we have removed a particular item from the list, we have like extended a list from one list to another list, right? So these are the operations that we have performed on the list. Why? Because list is a mutable kind of a thing. Mutable, it is mutable means you can change the order, the sequence and the content of a particular list item. So if we talk about NumPy array and list, so homogeneous collection of data is your NumPy, heterogeneous collection of data is your list. Hetero means dissimilar data, homogeneous means similar kind of data. Now second point, can only contain one type of data, hence not flexible with data types. Obviously if we have only one kind of data, it is immutable, we cannot change it, we cannot add anything, so it is very like it's not flexible, whereas list is flexible. right? Cannot be directly initialized in the NumPy. You need to import NumPy package as given in the example. But in list, you are not supposed to write any kind of import statement to import the list because it is by default. Direct numerical operation can be done, for example, dividing the whole array by 3 and this. Here you cannot provide these kind of arithmetic operation on particular list. You cannot multiply the entire item inside the list by 3. Why? Because it is not happening, because there is no direct numerical operation performed on list. You have to access each item of the list using the index, only then you can perform the operation. Next is widely use of arithmetic operation. Here the widely use of data management tool, right? It's a data management tool. Next, arrays takes less memory space. List requires more space, right? Now concatenation means adding of to array, appending, reshaping, etc. are not trivially possible in arrays. Yes, append function and all this, those functions are not allowed in the NumPy array, but in the list it is allowed. So what are the basic syntax? Import NumPy, a equals to a is a variable, numpy dot array is the name of that particular function or a object that is being called here. Inside the parentheses we have given a number in the form of capital bracket, whereas only this capital bracket along with the variable is required here in the list. Now coming next to the slide, basic statistical with Python. What are the basic statistical mathematical function, statistical you can say, function performed using NumPy in the Python programming language? So we are going to do programs on mean, we are going to perform programs on median, on mode, on standard deviation, and on variance. I think you must have heard about these few terms because these are very basic, or you can say very common statistical function performed on the given data, right? So we talk about the mean. It means it is the like a middle value. Mean means the average value of the sequence, right? Sum of number upon total number of observation. That is how we get the mean. Median is what? 50th percentile value of the sequence, means the middle value of the sequence. What is the middle value? That is called median. Mode means the occurrence of particular value in the sequence, right? Suppose 2 to 2, so 2 to 2 means 3. You remember the bag of words, right? So that is called the frequency. Standard deviation measures the spread of the sequence around its average value. एक average value के around में और कौन-कौन सी possible values हैं, that is being done by standard deviation. Variance, average of the square difference from the mean, means standard deviation का we talk about the square निकाल देंगे, squares निकालेंगे हम, तो हमारा एक उसका जो mean लेंगे, that is called as your variance. I will tell you when we will be solving the program. Next we talk about, now we have done with the accessing of data. How do we access our data? If we talk about we are accessing a data from online or offline source, it should be in the form of tabular format. What kind of tabular format? That can be a CSV, that can be your spreadsheet, that can be your SQL. After putting the data in a particular such a format, then what we will do, if suppose we are using a pipe programming into it, we will be using those you can say NumPy, or there are other tools also, NumPy, Matplotlib, there are others, so that we can use inside a Python programming, so that we can go about it. Now, next is your data visualization. How the data that you have stored in particular spreadsheet, or in particular, suppose if you have imported a library, or you have somewhere initialized your data or data set or something, how that data set should be appeared on the screen, that is called data visualization. And you know how many, what kind of data visualization tools are available. So let's come back to the first one, that is your, let's understand what kind of issue that we face when we deal with those kind of data. Sometimes we get erroneous data. What is the meaning of erroneous data? That is basically the data that contains error, right? In which we have two categories. First is incorrect value. Suppose inside the data, suppose in the in the column of the phone number, suppose we have the phone numbers in the form of decimal, then what does it mean? It means the data is incorrect, because the phone number has only 10 digits, right? And it means it is incorrect value. So that is called incorrect value if some values is improperly placed inside a you can say column. That is your incorrect value. Valid or invalid or null value means, suppose I have a phone number and one phone number column is missing. No data has been given there. Then it is called as your invalid or null values. So with these two types, sometimes the error arises when you see the data in the visualization tool, because that particular data is not available, due to which the prediction of the data using graph and charts cannot be made easily. It is incorrect, right? So this is one of the problem that we people face when we talk about erroneous data in the data set. Second type of issue is the missing data. Missing data means that I told you that that is empty. Sometimes it has been considered inside your null value or invalid also, right? So if we talk about missing data, means there is no data, that is data is null. In that case, sometimes interpreter, missing data cannot be interpreted as an error, as the value here are not erroneous or might not be missing due to any error. So in this case, what happened? Yeah, it is been given here that in some data set some cells remain empty. Okay, the values of these cells are missing and hence the cells remaining empty. So what is basically, sometimes the interpreter may understand that there is an error, or sometimes it does not understand. Why? Because of the missing data part. So if the data part is missing, the prediction will be wrong, right? So sometimes missing data is also been considered as a null value, null data, right? Outliners, outliers. Now, outliers are very much important. Data which does not fall in the range of a certain element are referred to as outliers. Suppose I have my domain. Yes, this problem happens when we do clustering. So if we have one cluster, when we have another cluster, so if data does not fall in the range of a certain elements, then it went out of that particular range, that is called as outliers. To understand this better, let us take an example, right? Let us assume that the students were absent for exam and hence has got 0 marks in it. What happened? In that case, the boy or a girl who got 0 marks will be considered as a outliers, means does not belong to that particular community, right? So if any data point does not belong to any particular community of data, it means that data is considered as an outlier, right? Hence, data visualization is used to interpret the collected data. That is why I have told you those packages and all. Why? Because we collect data through it and then we visualize and then identify patterns and trends out of the data that we have already gathered. Now, what happened in Python? What happened? Matplotlib package help in visualizing the data and making some sense of out of it, right? So NumPy is basically used for statistical data. Do we work on the arrays, right? And Pandas is one of the library that works on data frame, right? And then when we do working manipulation of the data, then to visualize the data in the form of graph and chart, we use matplotlib. Matplotlib means library, ठीक? So matplotlib is used. Okay, I think this part is missing. So matplot library is used. Before we start with the next topic, I think I should tell you about how, from where we are going to get the CSV data format, or from where we collect the data from outside source. So suppose suppose I am going to type here data.gov.in, and sorry, I think I have miss name is not correct. Now let me just correct it all. Data.gov.in, right? India data we have open. Now it is getting loaded. As you can see here, we can, if we want to see the data here, you can see and see the analytics, the data, the resources, the catalog, times downloads. Okay, these are the things that is they've been downloaded. 9.90 million people have downloaded. Visualization, you can visualize the data of previous data, right? Previous data you can visualize in the form of graph and chart. Suppose if we want to take a resource, I have clicked on the resource here, right? And if we want, see, the data set is getting loaded. Can you see here data sets? Mansi, can you see these data sets?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see how many data set is there? 6,11,472 data sets is been down already they available in the government website. If suppose I want to see that farmers queries लास्ट छत्तीसगढ़ 2023 में नवंबर में हमारी कितनी queries आई थी, so we can download it. But I can see I can take the easy example here. Suppose I want CBSE, let's see, CBSE result of class 10th, right? Of class 10th, let's see, is it there or not? Yeah, can you see this result here? So if we want to see the result of class 10 here, I have clicked on it. It will get open. Let me know once open. Yeah, can you see this? It is still loading. It is still loading. We'll wait for it. Right. Can you see this? Can you see the CSV format here? Now this CSV format is downloaded, and once we download, so it is asking what is your use, non-commercial use. It's just for myself to understand about it. So for this I will download it. Okay, it is been in academia. Okay, for this purpose name is Malvika Dikshit, or later my email will come. I have to write the captcha here, HAA7NS. Now I will download it. Now you can see, now data is been downloaded here. Now I will show you the file, how exactly it looks like. How do you understand that this file is considered as a CSV file? I have clicked on open. We will wait for 4, 3, 2, 1. It is opening. 1, -1, -2, -3. Let's go with the negative integer. -4. Okay, it is taking time to open. Yeah, it's getting open. Now I think you can see. Let me know once you can see this. If yeah, can you see this? Now it is in the form. It is in the form of rows and columns. Understood? So these are different kind of file formats which you can download from the free or government or reliable. These are reliable. You can see HTTPS is written. It means it is secured and reliable. We're not supposed to worry that whether the data, now in this you will get the entire data of 2023 of class 10th all over the CBSE schools. Understood? So if you want to see the particular school, you can go for it. But it will give you generalized. Now these are called API, application program interface, that we actually discussed. So APIs also can be easily downloaded here. You can see the visualization tools. It is not founded here. That's okay. So these are some websites through which you can get the data for your particular project. If you want to get the data, analyze the data and see the data in the visual form using Python programming, you can go about it. Is that clear? So these data sets will be available to you on these websites, if you will say. So this is all for the day. So tomorrow we will be discussing about how to work on Matplotlib, how to import Matplot library, and how to write a simple program using mean, mode, median in your Jupyter notebook. I think this much is clear to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.